everybody. I hope that you're all doing well. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's video. Today, Luna and I are here with a story time of sorts. Today's video is going to be all in good fun. I don't really tell you my dating stories ever. I talk about them a lot on Patreon and in greater detail, but I thought it would be fun to do on my actual main channel. So today I am going to tell you some stories of some interesting things that have happened to me on first dates, or really just, I guess it doesn't have to be narrowed down to just first dates, but just in dating in general. And I want this video to be lighthearted, and I want it to serve as something comforting if you are in the dating world right now. You're in your 20s or 30s and you are navigating whatever the heck this dating experience is, whether you're on the apps, whether you're not. At a risk of sounding harsh, it is the trenches, okay? So if you are in a loving, nice relationship, I want you to hug your loved one. Even if you're mad at them today, I want you to hug them and tell them that you love them and be thankful that you're not in the trenches, okay? Alright. But I will say, like I said, I've said it twice already, I'm gonna say it again, I want this video to be lighthearted. I'm not gonna mention anybody's names, everybody that I discuss in this video. I don't hate any of them. I don't wish any of them harm. I have enjoyed, I think, all of my experiences for the most part. And I learned a valuable lesson from all of them, I think. And I walked away with some stories that I can now laugh at. So, again, no disrespect to anyone. I would probably die if any of them actually saw this video. I don't think they will, but by chance, if any of you are here, I still like y'all as people and I wish you all the best. These are just some funny takeaways that I walked away with. So I have a little list on my phone. These have been compiled from like the last almost year of dating, okay? None of them are actually that bad. They're just funny. Some of them are interesting. Okay. So I'm not really gonna go in any particular order. There was this one dude once. This was a while ago, but I went on a couple dates with him. And at the time, I was very excited about him and very excited about where it could go. Looking back now, we were not compatible, or would not have been in the long run, but a very, very interesting person, and always was respectful and, you know, took me out and all the things. So, one thing that was really weird but funny is one day he looked at me on a date and he was like, we were talking about tattoos, and he looked at me and he said, "You would look really good with a tattoo sleeve." Me. You guys know me. Sorry, Luna's playing with my zipper on my jacket, but it's keeping her quiet, so if you see me moving weird, that's what I'm doing. He really said you would look really good with a tattoo sleeve. And I just thought that was so funny, because clearly he didn't know me that well at that point. I think that was like date 3. I think I would not look good with a tattoo sleeve. I also would not look like me. That's just really funny. I'll never forget that. Same dude. We were on a dinner date and it was really nice. Like, this was in June, I believe. So it was really nice outside. We went to a restaurant on the water, string lights, good food, good drink, all the things, right? It was all really nice. Picked me up. It was third date, so picked me up, drove me to the restaurant. dinner date, and we were just talking about everything, and he was the type where I felt like I had to like pull a conversation out of him a little bit. And and while we're eating dinner, I couldn't even tell you how this came up, but as I'm eating, he tells me he is planning on getting laser hair removal on his back. And I was just like, oh, that's cool. And like, that's not that weird, but I guess with someone that you don't know very well while they're eating, I was really taken aback. And I'm not the type where I don't get skeeved out very easily, but then I just started picturing it, and I was like, ugh. Hairy backs are not, the most appealing, appetizing thing to think about. But like low-key, sometimes I think about it, and I think about him, and I kind of want to know how that ended up, because I'm intrigued. I'm sure he's getting right for the summer, because that's usually something you do in like the fall, winter, so that you're ready for the summer. So I'm just curious to know how that turned out for him, and if it worked, because I've thought about doing it like on my legs or something. As a friend, I kind of just want to ask him how it went. I won't, but I kind of want to. The next one. Okay, this one, such a nice guy. It ended very, very well. No hard feelings, nothing. Nice guy, wish him the best, but this date was rough. It was rough. There was just a lot of things. So we met for a drink. We're sitting at the bar. It's one of those like sports bar kind of things. It's like a restaurant bar, but they have TVs up behind the bar. So, and it was September, I think, so like it was a Saturday, so college football was playing. And one of the first things I noticed, we're sitting on bar stools next to each other, because I don't know if there was no table, or no, I think we just told the staff like, hey, we're just drinking, so like, we're just gonna sit at the bar. And so we're sitting next to each other, but you would think that we would like turn and like face each other. And I noticed that I was talking to him and looking at him, and he was looking at the TVs while I was talking and while he was talking to me. So at a certain point, I said, "Big football guy?" He said, "No, not really." Okay, but I chalked it up to, maybe he's just nervous. Gave him the benefit of the doubt. But then that same date, so my Hinge says, like, under my information, like, it says Christian. So at one point, he was like, "So, you go to church?" I was like, "Yeah, usually there every Sunday." And he goes, "Oh, that's cool. Yeah, my dad hates church." I didn't really know what to say. I was like, "Oh, yeah, I get it. Some people have heard church hurt, But, bro, I'm not dating your dad, number one. Two, what am I supposed to say to that?" So that was interesting. But then he followed it up with, "But it's good that you go, though. That's, that's good for your mental health." I was like, "Yeah, I think so." It was right in that moment that I realized it's probably not gonna work. And what else? There was a lot about that date that was just like, I was asking about him and his siblings, and I was like, "So, like, are you and your siblings close?" And he was like, "No, I'm just not really good at keeping in touch with people." I was like, good to know. And at the end of the date, he didn't have didn't have a debit card. I'm sorry, I'm putting my phone on Do Not Disturb. He didn't have a debit card because he said he lost it, which, like, fine, that happens. But you would think you'd bring, like a backup method of payment, like a credit card or something. And so at the end of the day, he was like, oh man, I really hope they accept Apple Pay. And they did, but I was like, dang, if they didn't, like, I guess I was paying, which I could have. I would have if I needed to, but it was just very interesting. That whole date was very interesting, and just, you just know when you're not feeling it, and so I just very nicely said, I don't think they were the best match, but I wish you all the best, and I had such a great time getting to know you and all the things. Thank you for my drink, all the things. And I could tell he really appreciated that. He was like, I really respect your honesty, and like, I wish you the best as well. So that was that experience. I didn't even write this one down. This is a good one. I never met this guy, but he was like a big texter. I do like texting, but not before a first date. I like most of the early small talk to be in person. That's just my personal preference. And this dude we texted for like a full week, and he had a job that also had weird hours. I worked 2 to 11 p.m. So he kind of understood that, and it was easier for us to like find a day to do something. So we made plans the week prior to he said, next Wednesday, like, let's get lunch before you go into work, because he had the day off. Perfect. We never talked about it again, but we're texting like all day, every day, which that's my fault, because if that's not something that I like, then I need to set that boundary. We've learned that since then. But anyway, it was the next week, and it was that Monday, and mid-conversation he was like, so when did we say we were getting together? I forgot. Maybe this is just me being like having higher standards, but like, even if you did forget, don't tell me that you forgot. Scroll up in the text messages and figure it out, because that doesn't make me feel very special. So he said, is it next Wednesday? And I said, well, it's Wednesday, but as in like 2 days from now. And he was like, oh, but don't you have work? And I'm like sitting there looking at the text messages, and I'm like, am I crazy? So I said, well, as we discussed, it's like, as per my last email, it's like that kind of thing. As we discussed, like, we were gonna get lunch before I went into work. I said, if that doesn't work for you, no problem, because at this point I was already like over it. And I know things happen, but like, that's not a way, in my opinion, not a way to start. And so he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't want to make it seem like, like I'm too busy for you, and like, he tried to recover it, and I was like, I'm so sorry, I didn't say I'm not feeling it, but that's what I was like saying in my head. So yeah, I very nicely as I could, just kind of conveyed that I was good, I was good, and I felt bad because he was really nice, and he was like, if you ever actually want to meet, like, I would really like to meet you. I felt kind of bad, but I just write it down. Like, if you're that forgettable, write it down. And I also just think if you're excited about something, you're not gonna forget. You know what I mean? Me personally. So that was interesting. What else did I write down? I don't know how in depth I want to go into that one. Oh, there was one. This was like my first date back in the dating world last year, and I kid you not, I met this guy for a glass of wine on a Friday night, and then we went for a walk. He wanted to walk by the water, and it was like 42 degrees. Neither of us had a jacket. It was miserable. I was really cold. Anyway, I kid you not, within 40 minutes of meeting me, 40, he was already like, let's go back to my place. feel like our communication is gonna cross a little bit. Because like if that's what you're looking for, that's cool. But not what I was looking for. And I feel like that was kind of like conveyed, you know? But whatever. So I was like, no, like I'm not ready for that. After 40 minutes, I don't even go to somebody's place before the third date. And even the third date is like pushing it for me. I don't know you. I'm not going to your house. You're not coming in my house. I don't know you. You're a stranger. Stranger danger. That's just me. Especially where I live. Where I live, I feel like that is more important for safety reasons here in like New York than maybe other places in the country, you know? I wish it wasn't the case, but it kind of is. And so I just wasn't feeling it at that point. And I regret this because this was mean of me, and I truly didn't mean it to be mean. I don't wear my Apple Watch on dates because I get notifications and I feel rude. So I always like take it off and put it in my bag, or I just don't wear it. So I had no way of knowing like what time it was. And this was a later date, so I like looked at his watch just to like see what time it was. And he saw me looking at his watch and he was like, oh, you ready to go already? And I was like, no, you know, I just was curious. I do feel bad. I feel really bad about that. That was like almost a year ago, and I still think about it sometimes, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Because that's kind of rude. But genuinely, I didn't even think about it. I just wanted to know the time, and I didn't want to pull out my phone. And we were outside, so there were no clocks or anything. And then very shortly after that, I ordered an Uber. He was very nice. He waited with me, all the things, but I never saw him again. That was a very short date. That was like an hour date, an hour and 15 minutes. And then one of the most recent ones, was a guy that I was pretty excited about, I think. And we went out a couple times. Everything seemed okay, but the communication was not great. And then I got I just think you're too good for me text message. And I was like, got it. And I didn't even like, in those situations, it's so much easier to just accept their excuse, because that's what it is. You accept their excuse and you just say, I wish you all the best. And that's it. That's all you gotta say. Like I said, good luck. I said, I truly hope you figure out what it is that you want, because it was one of those things where we had gone out a couple times and I got that you're too good for me. I just really need to work on myself. Okay. I said, I wish you all the best. That's it. That's all there is to say. So, all that being said, it's something out there. Now, those were just like my dating app experiences, my Hinge experiences, not like counting like other people I've spoken to and stuff. And it's not like, I don't want to sit here and be like, oh, dating apps are awful. I have good friends, multiple couples of friends that are either married or getting married, and they met on the apps. So I'm not going to say that they don't work, because they do, but they're rare. And I also feel like they're not what they used to be. Any app that like has options for you to pay is not an app that's meant to be deleted. It's just not. It's false advertising. Don't get me started. I just don't think that they're what they used to be. But you definitely walk away with some funny stories. So I'm sure some of you can relate. Again, I really wish absolutely no harm to any of the people I mentioned. They all are really funny stories. I love talking to people. I love people. So I love getting to know people and learning about their friends and their family and their passions, and, you know, meeting up. And like, I always go on a date and I'm just like, all right, like, to help myself from getting nervous, I'm like, I'm just going to meet a friend. I'm making a new friend, you know, we're just gonna chat and whatever. So, you know, I have nothing but like good memories. these people. And I hope that one day they find their special women, their partners, and that they're really happy. And who knows, maybe they have funny stories about me. I don't know, they probably do. But anyway, that is gonna be it for this video. Maybe I'll do more of these, but I don't want it to be like, I don't want to overshare too much, because these are like other people with lives and feelings, and I don't want to turn it into I'm only going on dates for videos, because I don't think that's right either. Also, you guys know me, I wouldn't do that. But who knows, maybe I'll do another one of these in the future. Hopefully I don't want to go on that many more dates anymore. After my last one, I'm not gonna lie, I need a break. But anyway, I hope you got a little laugh out of this video. I did. It's fun going down memory lane. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Hug your significant others. Okay.